Now Razer has been making some really good products over the years. They make some great mice, keyboard, headphones, wrist rests as well. But what about something that's a bit more pricey? What about their laptops? So this is the 2021 Razer Blade Advanced, and I've been using it for the past few days. This is the first time I've actually ever used a Razer laptop. A lot of expectations here. So let's find out what it is like to own a Razer Blade. First, let's talk about the specifications on this machine. So what I have here is the i7 10th gen 8-core processor. It's got the RTX 3070 with the QHD display running at 1440p and at a 240 Hz refresh rate. It came with 16 gigs of RAM out of the box, and it has that sweet vapor chamber, which is a feature of the advanced version only. It's not existent on the base model. The base model of this is also a bit taller, a bit thicker, and a bit lighter. This device has got quite a bit of weight to it, and it feels premium, like it should, as I expected. But does it make me feel special? Because this is the first time I'm actually using a Razer laptop, and I wanted to make me feel special because I dished out quite a bit of cash for this. Now, before I get into that, let's talk about my previous laptop and what was special about that. Now, what I have here is the Legion Y740. This one was rocking that 9th gen i7 processor with 6 cores, and it had the GTX 1660 Ti. So yeah, a few generations old, but a beast of a laptop regardless. Now what I liked about this laptop most of all was its thermal performance. As you can see here, it's got these vents on all sides, and it had this incredible way of dealing with all kinds of workloads, and it gave me no trouble at all during my use. And that is actually the number one thing we should all be looking for in a gaming laptop, is its thermal performance. Another really good thing about the Legion laptop, because if you look at it from the outside, it looks pretty decent. It does not have like a gamer vibe at all. But once you open it, naturally that's where you can see those colors really blasting off that keyboard over there. Just beautiful. And you can see they even have these RGB lights even in the vents, quite a few of them, and they have one in the logo as well, which you can customize. Everything is customizable, so it's pretty understated until you turn it on, and actually you can customize it to your wishes. So overall, loved having this laptop. But now let's see what Razer has in store, and see if it is a worthy successor to my Legion Y740. So it's time to do a bit of side by side. I'm gonna power both of these machines on together. Well, there we go. Yeah, it's interestingly, this reaches the main screen sooner than this one. It's just got more happening with it than it has on this one.
5 minutes later.
So why did I do it? Why did I settle for this device when clearly I had feelings for the Legion brand and everything it had to offer? It took very good care of me, and I was very happy with it. Well, if I'm honest, it was primarily because Razer is one of the few manufacturers here in Canada who has the RTX 30 mobile GPUs in stock in this form factor, right? The desktop GPUs are a whole different conversation. So starting off with the build, it has this really premium finish, a very thin profile. It's got that nice premium weight, very basic, very simple, which can be a good thing. But the drama starts or ends when you open this laptop and press the power key, right? But once you open the device, you're greeted by this slab of a keyboard, which reminds me of an old HP Pavilion from like 10 years ago. But the screen though is brilliant. It's a 240 Hertz 1440p panel. It's got really rich and vibrant colors, and it's a joy to use, no doubt about it. But generally, the power on experiences where I found things were really lacking. I actually was looking forward to pressing that power button, and I was waiting for wonderful things to happen, but nothing happens. It's just a rectangular piece of a button stuck in the middle of the speaker grill, and it's just functional. Now you'll also notice the IR blaster on the camera is working because it's got Windows Hello. So let me just unlock the device. Yeah, it works with my glasses, so that's great. Otherwise, I must mention the camera, the webcam is not that great. It's all right too. Now this device has all of the latest and greatest of features, right? It's a powerhouse in a very portable format. What I've heard from all of the reviews around the world, that this device is supposed to make you feel superior, and yes, it's supposed to make you look down on others. If you have a Razer laptop, you know what I'm talking about. But has it rubbed onto me that way? Does this laptop really make me feel special and all powerful? Yes. So let's just try getting into a game now. As you can see here, we've got some nice frames going in about plus of 70 to 80, but we are running at 1440p with all of the settings set to the absolute max. This is a good game though. I do recommend it. So as the fans start to spool up on this device, you will notice a bit of a draft on the left and the right hand side of the keyboard. And what I understand is that the fans on this device take a bit of air from on top of the keyboard and also from under the laptop, which is an interesting feature. Keeps the left and the right hand side of the keyboard quite chill. But the center of the keyboard then starts to suffer a bit, and this part might seem a bit warm. Also, I have to mention that after perhaps an hour's worth of use, you'll start to feel pretty warm on these two sides. And sometimes when you're throwing really heavy loads on it, they might even become uncomfortable a bit, but not something that you will have to completely stop using the laptop. But it is there. What's concerning for me is that this is the part where the battery is underneath, and this may affect the longevity of that battery. Yeah, the fans, they sound a bit tinny, they sound a bit shallow. They kind of remind me of an old CD-ROM, if I'm honest. But gets the job done. I've used this laptop for like a few hours, and it ran just fine. I did not have any thermal issues. Overall, the performance was top notch. So I should also point out the speakers on this device are also, although they come with this fancy sticker for THX, they're kind of okay. They're not great. I honestly felt like the ones in the Legion had a better thump to it. These ones are a bit more like on a shallow end of the spectrum. So I also wanted to talk about the power cable. So it kind of looks like a Type-C connector, very Razer specific. It's braided, it feels nice. The device uses a 230 watt power brick, and it goes on the side. Now, one or two issues about it, and that there is a fair bit of resistance when you try to put it in the device. It's almost as if it does not want to go in. What is this? There we go. Right, so you've just got to like slide it in. It does not sort of lock in place. If your charger is coming from in front of the laptop, you'll have to put it like this. And when you do that, it's going to cover the USB slots on the side. Well, in comparison to the Legion, it's got its power here. It's got the USB connectors, Ethernet, HDMI, quite a bit of port selection here. Now we need to talk about the internals of this device. Now, personally, I had an unpleasant experience getting inside this laptop. I needed a T5 torque screwdriver, which I did not have at the time. Now underneath this, whatever business you need to do, you need to change the RAM, you need to add a secondary SSD, you would need some precision tools to get the job done. So when you take off the back panel, you realize it's kind of flimsy. It's made out of a very thin material, and putting it back on was incredibly painful. Now if you have the right tools, you should be able to easily upgrade your RAM and also put that M.2 storage in. But troubles begin when you try to put this laptop back together, especially this back plate, which is incredibly flimsy, and it's got just one latch on this end to guide where all of the screws go back in. And you will spend quite a bit of time trying to align precisely where all of the edges come together. So I have another tiny observation. Because the chassis is so thin and the way the M.2 drive slots are configured, stacked on top of each other, when you add that second drive on top of the primary drive, it decreases the headroom that you have here. And there's a tiny heat pad stuck to the bottom of this panel. When you're trying to put this back together, it's just, you need to squeeze it down a little bit so that you get like a better fit back in. I must also especially talk about the vapor chamber here. Now this is what really baffles me. A very common side on a gaming laptop is that it has vents on its sides and also on its back. So if you see here, you can barely see vents on any side. There's just one long exhaust at the back of this device. How does this manage to have a 3070 and not have thermal issues? It's magic, really it is. In more conventional designs, you'll see fans that are a bit more outward so that you can exhaust heat from both sides of the laptop. And in this one, they're a bit more centered, so they can only exhaust heat from the back. Thermals need to be tip-top in every gaming laptop. And when you open up this device and you just see this tiny strip where it can exhaust its heat, it doesn't make sense. How it is able to manage an RTX 3070, deliver good performance over longer periods of time and not have this device boil over. But it doesn't. It works. It is able to deliver the performance as specified on longer times with an acceptable heat range. Summarizing this laptop is then a bit hard. It's got these understated looks, it's got that thin profile, it's got that logo, it's a fancy laptop, but it has the potential to really surprise you with its performance. In some ways, it kind of reminds me of a Golf GTI or a Golf R. It looks like a normal practical hatchback, but when you put that pedal to the metal, you know it's going to surprise you. So there you have it, guys. This is the Razer Blade 15 2021.